What's up, man? This is Luna here with another Godforge video. Tonight I just want to kind of give a quick update of kind of what I'm leaning towards and how I want to approach going into the game. I know I talked about previously in my last video about switching over to Vivian. However, I have watched a couple of videos myself and I think I'm going to change my strategy just a little bit. And again, you guys do what you want, right? I think this game is going to be much better at obtaining legendary champions and progressing to the game better than other games like Raid, where it's really a lot of pay to win to get you there or really make much progress. But I think I'm gonna stick with Heimdall actually, right? Until now, if they come out with before early access where we can know all the kits for all the champions, then I may look at switching over. But I think I'm just gonna let my crystals build up. You see I'm up to 300 here, right? Because getting an extra 40 more 10 pulls a day, right? So 60 pulls a day. So I think I'm gonna hold on to those until we get some more updates. And I will share a great resource here in just a minute about some champions or some info on the champions of what's kind of out there right now, what we do know. Now again, take all this with a grain of salt, and all of this is subject to change because they are still working on this game, and they actually are reworking some of the kits for some of these characters. But all that being said, I don't need to keep doing as many quests. I'll just pop in here a couple times a day, just for fun and just to keep it going, but it's definitely not needed. But for me, if you're looking at trying to prioritize your resources, and again, if you're doing the free-to-play option where you didn't pay the whopping $10 to get the premium perks, but hey, if you want to go solely free-to-play, I hear you. I plan to be very low spend on this game when it goes live anyway. But all that being said, for me, again, do what you want, do what makes you happy. But if you're trying to limit yourself, okay, I may not get to that 55,000 Aether that's needed. So what should I pick out of these four? For me, I'll go with the portrait, because these are not coming back at all, right? These should never come back at any point in time in the future. So again, if none of these three interest you, then don't worry about the portrait. But if you like them, like, oh man, do I want to get this? I will go with the portrait, then legendary hero. And for me, I would pick the imprint over the actual weapons. I think weapons would probably be easier to come about in this game than trying to get imprints. So all that being said, so why Heimdall, right? So this is why Heimdall, and I'll link this website in the notes, somewhere in the notes below, right? So you can access this, but ravenpyros.com. Now again, you click on some of these champions, it doesn't have information because we don't know what that information is yet, but it does have some information on a lot of these characters. And if it may not have the full kit, and a lot of times it'll have the imprint of what we know of what we know now, rather. So that being said, Heimdall, where is Heimdall? I went too fast here. Get a little too excited thinking about Heimdall. All right, so again, just a quick disclaimer, all this is subject to change, but I think someone like Heimdall probably not going to have much of a change in his kit. But 30% defense in all battles, which is huge, especially starting out in the game. Bifrost Blade attacks one enemy with defense plus attack, so it's nice to have two things that's scaling on, right? And transfers random debuff from this hero to the target. If any Blaze, Bleed, or Acid debuffs are transferred, activate them after transferring. So that's huge. So he's transferring the debuff and it's automatically activating right away. Looking at his Watchmaster, place Retaliate and Intercept, which is great too, right? If you click on this, it kind of tells you what it is. Counterattacks enemies when hit. Redirects an attack to the hero that placed the intercept. So basically, that damage will then go to Heimdall versus the character that they're trying to attack. On all allies for 2 turns, then attack all enemies, right? With defense and attack, pretty good amount there. And Awakening 3 also places a ward on this hero for 4 turns, so immune to attack damage. So that's huge. If you basically get him fully awakened, right, he's basically putting up a block damage, right? And if you look at the imprint I'm going with Sun Wukong, it also make it better, because I'm definitely not going to go into the game having an Awakened 3 champion. We're looking at his ultimate skill, Shield of Asgard. Place defense up 2 on all allies for 2 turns, and a shield 400% of his defense on all allies, which is pretty massive. Then place protect, right? And protect is just basically ally who should kind of like ally protect and Raid Shadow Legends, if you're familiar with that. On all allies except this hero for 2 turns, these buffs cannot be removed when placed on heroes from Asgard, right? So they can be removed if you're going into the battle with heroes not from Asgard, but still, that's pretty massive. But if you get to this Awakening 5 here, this is what's really crazy, really busted. At the start of each wave, activate this ultimate before any turn is taken. So basically, I think he'd be all-around progression champion through all areas of the game and even in Arena. But especially going into Arena, right? If you get him up to Awaken 5 where he's coming in, putting the defense up, shield up, and protect at the start of the round before any turn is taken, that is massive, massive, massive. Then Vanguard's Vigil, his passive, allies under any buff have a 30% chance to reflect any debuff received. Then Awakening 1 also heals his hero 3% whenever a debuff is reflected. Which remember, he's reflecting those debuffs on his A1, so there's pretty good potential for a lot of healing here. So, if you look at his kit, it's pretty stinking awesome. He was a favorite in the alpha that was going on, and for obviously look at his kit for good reason. So I'm going with Excalibur, right? And again, I don't know if have these updated yet, because I know they don't update right at 7 o'clock for me. Yeah, it looks like they did. So we got some different imprints here. Tagged, increased turn meter. Still in turn meter for him. All right, so I think I'm still gonna go with, I think I'm gonna keep Sun Wukong. I don't think I'll be switching that. Again, like I said, unless there's something that comes out and we know more. One thing I thought was nice, it'd be cool if we could touch on the imprint and see what it is, right? And basically with the weapon allows allies to do more damage if you're looking at using the Excalibur. So if we go over here to Sun Wukong, we can kind of see what his imprint is. So place Immortal, right? So look at Immortal as HP cannot be reduced below 1. So basically stays alive with at least 1 HP, duration reduced when triggered, okay? So with this imprint on that weapon, I'm going with Heimdall because I'm just going to go with a souped up Heimdall. It's kind of my plan. He's placing out Immortal, right, for 2 turns on Heimdall, right? That's my plan to have it on. When receiving fatal damage for the first time, also has a 25% chance to join an ally's attack. So what's also great about that 25% chance to join an ally's attack is he's transferring those debuffs, right? So obviously you want to build Heimdall with a bunch of defense, HP, but you're also going to build him up with some accuracy because he's going to be able to, well, he needs the accuracy to transfer those debuffs to the enemy. So all that being said, with the version of Heimdall that I'm using now, he's going in, allowing allies to do more damage because of the Excalibur. And he's going to be, if he's hit with a fatal hit, then he's going to be putting that Immortal up and it's preventing his death for that 2 turns. And if you have another support on the team, right, that can heal him up, he can get right back. But even then, especially if you're looking at using him in Arena, right, he may only need that 1 or 2 turns to get around to actually be like a go second strategy for the Arena as an instance. Now, MikeGoGs, I'll try to at least link that video to somewhere, whether it be at the end credits or some of the show notes below. He kind of talked about his video, and that's kind of what made me change my strategy away from going with Vivian to sticking with Heimdall, is basically going with a very souped up character. So I'll link that video. I'd recommend you guys checking that out. It's really good information. But he was talking about using Tianlong as his. And again, you know, you come in, you look at the different combos, do what you want, right? Like I know Odd One Gaming, he's going all out for Dracula because it's kind of supporting his culture. So again, you know, have fun, enjoy the game, whatever makes you happy. So we don't know about all the Tianlong skills, but look at this. Allies under shield deal 10% increased damage and receive 10% decreased damage to them. So basically he'll be buffing up the team to do more damage, and he'll automatically be reducing damage to all enemies by that 10%. So for me, that's also pretty good. So mix and match how you want. But I've kind of gone in and looked at the different combos because I've gotten pretty lucky with some of the pulls I've got. I mean, I've gotten Isis, I pulled a Sun Wukong. My first one was Anu. I didn't know what Anu did, so still not sure what is going on with him because they are reworking his kit. Specifically, that's something that Simon did call out in his video. But like I said, unless something crazy comes out, even if we do get some updates to some of the other characters, I don't know if it'd be good enough for me to really want to change my mind. And again, I'm going with support option. If you want to stick with that, like I said, I pulled a Sun Wukong, right? And he can do a lot of damage. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. Like whatever makes you happy. Starting out this game, because like I said, I think progression stuff through this game, I think it's just very grind friendly and not so much you have to pay a lot of money or spend forever to get anywhere in this game. But all that being said, this is kind of my 2 cents on my take on what's going on with Godforge right now and how I'm moving forward prepping for the game. So hey, let me know what you guys are doing down below in the comments of what champion you're looking for, what combinations you're looking for. If you got some other recommendations of, hey man, if you actually checked out this passive, you know, mix it up, whatever, feel free to drop those comments below. But again, just have fun, you know, enjoy life, and just remember this is a game. So keep that in perspective. But all that being said, if you're still here at the end, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.